The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 summer edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk to the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business and why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You're going to hear all about their successes, challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you can see us on YouTube and see Steve's bright and shining face.
There it is, my bright and shining face, Tommy.
So you know what I did this week? That
you were nice to your wife.
Well, aside from I think I'm having problems with my gluteus maximus. Aside from
that, so it hurts.
It's very tight.
That's what she said.
Yes, you know, it's funny. I used to be able to bounce a quarter off it.
It's a family show, Tom.
But I'm noticing a lot of tension. I carry a lot of tension in my butt.
Yeah, that opens the door for a lot of things I'm going to say, but I'm not gonna because we got a great show.
So it rained and I didn't water the flowers, and I'm pretty good about watering the flowers, making sure the baskets get watered. So I let it go, and then I walked out the other day, and they were all shriveling up, and I said, "Why now? What did I do wrong?" But the rain just doesn't penetrate. Some of the.
We have our plants and water them every day. We have a little tomato plant. We have a little strawberry.
Oh,
we eat strawberries off it every day.
Well, that's good.
And it's all just on a little patio, but
sure.
That's my one job. Water the things. Did you water? Yes.
So I watered them. They all came back, and I'm very pleased with that. So other than being pleased with that, I think you're going to be pleased with the show. We got a good one going on here for the next couple of hours. Stick around. We've got Dr. Mitchell Brody, who's up first. He's the president and CEO of Family Care Medical Group. Tom Wolf will stop by. He's the owner of Bath Pros. Stefan Yankowski is the salesperson for North Country Storage Barns. Wait, you got to check out their website. Man, they do a lot of stuff over there. Worth going out to. Josh Deacon stops by. He's the co-owner of Crossroads Auction Center. We've had his father on many times. Josh Lane, pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse. George Powers, owner of Powers Accounting. Sean Patney, the owner of Preferred Powersports. And then we'll wrap things up with John Woznicka III, president of JPW Structural Contracting. All here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR. So first up, Steve, let's talk to Dr. Mitchell Brody. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Very good, very good. My family has gone to see your family, Family Care Medical, for years and years, and quite like. And I think that one of the issues that they had with the practice was that it was inside the hospital, and it was very difficult to get to, but that's not the case anymore, right?
Right. So Family Care Medical Group is a group practice consisting of about 30 offices spread out throughout Central New York.
30 offices?
30 offices.
30 offices, yes. Going through 4 county, Oswego, Cayuga.
Oh, my goodness.
Good golly, I didn't know they had that much.
Yeah, right. So we go from Central Square to Manlius to Auburn and down to Aurora, including Cortland. So the office that I work in, along with the other doctors, Dr. Kuhn, Khan, Jimenez, DeMoon, now Urquioli coming up, as well as Dr. Sweet. We were in the community office POB. We also had another office in Skaneateles, and we decided that we were too big to stay in the POB. The office has grown from 3 doctors. Now we have 13 clinicians, so we recently moved our office.
Oh, my goodness.
Very nice. And where's the new office located exactly?
Right across from West Hill High School.
Yeah, well, we're all familiar with that.
So you are primary care physicians. Is that still the right term?
Right. So, yes, it's basically a group composed of primary care physicians. Some of us, I'm an infectious disease doctor. I do primary care medicine also. We also have an endocrinologist who does primary care medicine. We have a couple of gynecologists, a pulmonologist, an ENT doctor. But for the most part, the core of the group is primary care physicians, either family physicians or internists.
Are you homegrown yourself? Are you from Syracuse, or are you from out of state?
I'm from in-state.
Like downstate and
Like
upstate?
downstate, yes.
Okay.
Like Lawrence, Long Island, New York. Yes.
Oh, is that where you grew up then?
That's where I grew up.
You could hear the Long Island. When he said Long Island, you could hear it kind of roll out the Long Island thing.
I've repressed it. I've been here since 1980. Actually.
Okay.
Although my first trip here was in 1968.
Wow. So when you go down to the island, do you go over the GW, or do you take Tappan Zee, or how do you get over there?
I don't go down there anymore.
Tom,
But when I used to go down there,
Yes.
I would go down through the Poconos, and then go down through Staten Island, and then go down through the Rockaways and come back.
just so you know, Tom asked that question because he's terrified of bridges and tunnels. That was a loaded. He was like, "How do you go?" Because he's thinking he's a doctor. He's really smart. Maybe he knows the way that I don't have to die. Is that? Am I wrong, Tom?
Well,
Yeah, you got it. It's an island. You know.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
My daughter dates a guy in East Islip, Long Island, and she goes over that Throgs Neck Bridge.
Right,
there.
that's the other side.
Yeah, crazy. Man.
So, family care medical, primary care physicians, there was a time, and I don't know if that's true, where people couldn't even find one. They were on waiting lists for years and they couldn't get. Has that changed?
No, it's gotten worse, actually.
Well, at least he admits it.
It's gotten worse. Well, it's not our fault. We're trying to do our best to encourage people to go into primary care, either internal medicine or family medicine. But it's difficult. Medical people who go to medical school, most of them take on a lot of debt, and they want to pay off that debt. And there is. There are certain specialties that pay more money than that, and people, if you look at it as a job rather than a calling, they'll go to those professions.
So, a real honest question here, and looking for an honest answer. Do you think things changed in the way people's perception of doctors and practices from COVID? Do you think there's some sort of mistrust?
Well, I think there's a lot of mistrust among some people. Okay,
Yeah,
there's
sure.
always been that mistrust, and I think there was a little fire, and then people poured gasoline on the fire. So I think in terms of vaccines, there was always sort of this anti-vaccination movement.
Right.
And then it was sort of kind of on the left, and then now it's sort of on the right, and now it's a combination of both. So.
People just genuinely confused.
Mistrust, and people get information from any source. Everybody is an expert, and that's it.
So, family care medical group. So you're taking on new patients with all these locations you just mentioned?
Not all the locations, but several of the locations.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone can have a primary care physician.
Yeah, somebody can have a primary care physician.
Well, that's the other thing is, how long does it take to be seen? Sometimes, when people say, "Hey, I'd like to book an appointment," and they say, "Well, yeah, we can get you in 6 weeks." What? But this goiter is growing.
Right. So
I thought that was your head.
different offices run different ways. In our group, we have people, the doctors have their autonomy; they can run it. But the expectation is, if you have a doctor and you have a problem, you should be seen as soon as
I like
possible
that.
and try to get in.
That's a realistic expectation.
That's a real expectation, and for that's why you have a doctor, right?
Right.
That's the whole point, right. You don't care about seeing him when you're well. You want to see the doctor, him or her, when you're sick. That's kind of the idea.
Unfortunately, you see doctors when you're ill.
Yeah, I had that. My doctor, I got a call and it was saying, "Hey, he's going to retire or move to a board certified thing, and hey, we can hook you up with someone else." And I'm like, I don't know, and I kind of shopped at that point. But it was I couldn't get to see him anyway. If I had called, they're like, "Oh, hang on, 3 months," and you always saw somebody else. So it lost its. So I switched up. I'm happy with who I'm with now.
Yeah,
but it's just a different deal. Different deal. So Family Care Medical Group is the website, fcmg.org. Does that sound right? And if someone wanted to call and have a conversation about anything, they could call 472-1488. Maybe looking for a doctor, looking for an answer, or maybe looking for something. All right. That's the plan.
Great.
Yes, that's the plan, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Mitchell Brody right there. He's the president and CEO of Family Care Medical Group. You have a great rest of the day, okay? All right.
Thank you very much.
Tom Wolf is coming up next. He's the owner of Bath Pros, and we'll talk with him right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. This is The Local Show. Thank you for joining us on this fantastic weekend as we pounce through the summer. You know what, Steve? Kelly has an interesting, or had an interesting week, and she might have another one coming up. Turns out, Kelly's my wife, for those of you keeping up with things. Turns out that she got called for grand jury duty.
Oh, no. The big one. So not jury, we get you and get grand jury. You're sentenced to that for like 3 years, right? You have to see all these things.
You have to, listen. You have to determine whether the case is going to go to trial. So it's kind of a different thing, a different flavor.
I think she would be great at that.
Yeah,
she's like
Kelly
leveled. She's not you.
Yeah, no, she has no anxiety about it. She's thinking to herself, "Hey, this is just like watching a television show. I can just hang out."
I could see her making logical, reasonable. I could actually. They're going to pick her
because she likes to read and all.
Oh, they're picking her. She's
so who knows?
She's smart. No, I think congratulations.
Some people say, "Oh, it's great. It's your civic duty." I think it's horrible. I think they should just have people who want to do it, do it.
Yeah, that can have. Then you get. I don't know.
Yeah, but why have somebody miserable and disgruntled?
Okay, that's fair.
When they interviewed me, they said, "Would you have any problem handing down a sentence?" And I said, "Fry 'em." Yeah,
they said, "Thank you, Mr. Soccocio,"
and they dismissed me.
3 years. Yeah.
So I was happy for that.
They were talking about lunch with the chicken.
Crazy. All right. Anyway, we've got a new guest to the show. His name is Tom Wolf, and he's the owner of Bath Pros. How are you there, Tom?
Doing good. How are you?
What a wonderful first name. I'll tell you what. There's a lot of great meaning that goes with the name Tom or Thomas.
Yeah, I never met a Tom I didn't like.
That's it. Same here. All right. So tell us a little bit about your background. Are you from Syracuse at all, or are you?
I grew up on Long Island. My wife is from.
Well, everybody's from Long Island.
Hear Long
what
Island.
Is this?
Hear the accent?
Say Long Island.
Long Island.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah. I was just telling the doctor who was just here that my daughter dates a kid in East Islip. I don't know how close to.
Pretty close where I grew up.
Yeah, she goes over that Throgs Neck Bridge and goes down and sees him and all that with no problem.
Because that's a scary bridge, Tom.
That's a scary bridge for me. Doesn't seem to be scary for her. Do you take the GW or the Tappan Zee when you go to?
GW.
Yeah, GW. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Tom doesn't take any of them.
I hate bridges in general. So how long have you been up here in Syracuse?
About 5 years now.
Okay. Yeah. And did you come up with the intention of starting Bath Pros, or did you have another idea? Or?
No, so I came up, and it was around that time of COVID where...
lovely time.
Yeah, everything got weird. So
that's the right word.
I ran a contracting company for a little bit, and we did all types of home renovations. Mm-hmm. And bathrooms, we seem to be very good at. And we filled a particular niche where there were a lot of customers getting these estimates from national companies, and you might... Some of the names pop in your head. I won't say any of them.
Right.
But and they're not egregious in their pricing necessarily because they have these huge advertising costs, but we wanted to do it a little differently. So we do something very similar. We're not using acrylic or plastic or anything like that. We're using cultured stone slab. And we generally come in at a price pretty similar to these national companies.
All right. So you redo the bathroom, but it'll be done in 5 minutes, and you'll love it. This is it might take a couple days, but it's
exactly. Yeah, we're not a one-day bath company, and we pride ourselves on that.
Okay,
we're not in and out. It's generally 2 or 3 days, but you get a really premium product.
So did you say, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, that you're going to be around the same price with a much better finished product? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Generally, we end up under
with a better product.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
We're a family-owned company. We have smaller overhead.
Is it your family, or did you buy into this?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
My family, the operations manager's family, is also part of the company, so I'm not the only owner.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you call the company, you're actually talking to either my wife or the operations manager's wife, or another call center person. But.
So family business, that's fun, huh?
Yeah, there's some issues, but it's actually kind of nice.
No, can you leave it at the office, or is it... Here, what's at dinner? Are we talking about Tom, who's a pain in the neck as a customer, or somebody?
A little bit of both, but the phones go off at 6 or 7, and from there, our night.
Good. So, maybe I missed this when you were first talking. Did you come up here to Syracuse for a reason, before COVID?
So my wife's family lives up here.
Oh, okay, that's why.
And
okay,
I
gotcha.
lost my folks down on Long Island.
Oh, sorry about that.
Here. Yeah, I mean, it happens.
Yeah, that happens. It does.
And things change.
I like it up here. It's great.
Well, yeah, a lot slower. I know that my daughter's boyfriend, he likes coming up here to go to Tully's. He really loves Tully's tenders, and they don't have one down there in the island.
Nope.
Wow, that's quite a reason to go up.
Yeah, right. Like
it's just the pace here.
Yeah,
I mean, when you go to a home, if you're going in one of the suburbs somewhere, you pull up in front of the house and you walk in and you give them a quote or whatever you do, and it isn't this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't get stuck on the highway and have to, I'm sorry I'm late because we're backed up on the highway and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the difference is up here, it is really difficult finding a good contractor, which is why we sold that area.
So that's an opportunity for you.
Huge opportunity. And we've got a lot of guys, they're all trained by us.
Right.
We're not picking them up at Home Depot, put it that way.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
What side of town was your wife born and raised down up here? Do you remember?
Out of Manlius. Yeah.
She was out of Manlius, okay. And so she works with the business now. And did either of you have a background in construction?
I had a background in construction.
Okay.
She actually has a background in marketing and PR.
Oh, good.
There we go. All right.
Started.
That's good.
Yeah, excellent.
No, that's good. So what's different? I mean, I heard you say it's using stone things. And how is the process different?
In a lot of ways.
Tell me a couple.
If you get a quote from a national company, they generally come in. A lot of them are really high pressure. They're trying to get you signed right away. We don't operate that way because we don't have to. I mean, right now we're booked out about 2 months.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's great. That's our average backlog.
It's great, but if I'm a consumer and I want my bathroom done, like let's say before August, it's not so great, right?
It's not great in the capacity that if you were to hire another company, they might come in a day, within the next week. But the quality you're going to get is the issue.
Yeah, Tom spends more time at the bathroom than he does at work. So that Tom, if you're
the bathrooms are very important to Italian people. Let me just tell you that.
So maybe it's worth waiting an extra month to have something that's better.
And we're hiring right now, and we're training our installers to get that backlog down to about a month. That's where we want to be. It gives people the time to think about it because, again, we don't want to pressure them. And within a month is generally where you want to be.
Okay.
Are people saying, I need a quote, or are people saying, I want this exactly, or are people saying, what should I do?
Most of them are saying, hey, I saw your product online. I went to your website. It looks great. I want the stone. I don't want the cheap stuff. Can you come out?
Yeah.
And at that point, we sent a project manager out. We have one in Syracuse. We're also in Albany and Buffalo right now. So
no kidding.
Managers out there.
Okay.
Gosh, that's got to be fun to manage.
It was not fun making the drives initially myself.
Right.
But I'm not doing it anymore. So
So the process to have a conversation, they can go to the SyracuseBathPros.com.
Yep, you can visit us right at the website, SyracuseBathPros.com, or you can call us 315-217-1150.
So I'm the guy that would call because I'd want to go, I kind of want to hear that it's not a 1-800 number and I have to dial 1 and 2 and 3, and I want to have a relationship with someone working on my home.
Yeah.
That's me. But someone could call, and within a week, someone could come out and give a quote. Is that reasonable?
we can come out within a day or two.
Oh, okay.
Well, we get there. It's just to install. Sometimes takes a few weeks, up to a month.
Okay, so that's the 217-1151.
That's right, yeah.
So write that down, 217-1151, and people can have a conversation about it. But you're different, so you're not the plastic inserts. Is that what you didn't say it, but I'm saying
we can offer it if you're really budget conscious.
Okay.
We generally try not to. We're installing the better product.
Right. Well, that's wonderful.
What about the plumbing stuff? Do you mess with that or no?
We do, and the operations manager is actually a licensed plumber and a licensed electrician.
So
he's overseeing all that. That's what I said. Our guys are really well trained.
That's a very big deal.
It is a big deal, yeah.
Well, that's good.
It's a very big deal.
Tom Wolf, thank you for being here and not having to travel back and forth over the Throg's Neck. And, stay right up here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Owner of Bath Pros right there. Hey, coming up next, Steve, we're going to talk with Stefan Yankowski. He is a salesperson for North Country Storage Barns, and he's also my neighbor, Steve. So try not to embarrass me. Oh, my goodness.
Can't promise you that.
Yeah, I don't want him running out of here with his hair on fire. That's all coming up on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it. Thank you for joining us on the local show. Tom and Steve, your bastion of fun. You like
bastion
that?
of fun. Wow.
Instead of your last bastion.
Yeah, you're not. Sometimes you're fun and sometimes you're not.
Well, you never know. I'm on like a box of chocolates. Right?
Are you fun at a wedding party, Tom?
Yeah,
you're the guy that makes the fun.
Yes.
Makes people like body surf and get the music going.
That's right.
And then they tell you it's too loud and turn it down.
I'm happy this year, that we scaled back a little bit and we've had time to be home.
Yes. Is that the way? Is that what you tell yourself because you really need the money?
I do. I love the money when it's there, but the relaxation is. Just so nice not to have that pressure of loading up the trailer and pulling out.
Will there be a day where you say, "Good luck, Nick. Have a good show," and he goes out the door and you don't?
Well, he's going to be a photographer, videographer. Right? He won't do the music thing, but there will come a point where I just don't do it. It'll be every once in a while.
Yes.
Because
calling out will be 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 because you're going to do it forever. Who are you kidding?
I might. So speaking of people that have been doing stuff a long time, Safe Harbor Wills and Trust been at it for a while.
Long time.
You got 20 seconds to tell people about it, so go ahead.
Need a will? If you don't have one, of course you need one. If you have an old one, you should change it. If you haven't done a trust to protect your home and life savings, that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes, they do it all the time, and they're the best. Look at their reviews; they're amazing. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Call them. You can ask questions. They don't charge you. Ask questions. 370-9977. That's the area code 315.
The big one. The big area.
370-9977. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Tom.
Okay, there you go. So we have a new person out to the show. He's not so new to me. He's been a neighbor for forever, but of course, COVID got in the way, and we, just saw each other barely. But anyway, Stefan Yankowski is a sales manager for North Country Storage Barns. They have several locations, but he takes care of all of Oswego County and the Pulaski location. Hi there, Stefan. How are you?
How's it going, Tom?
Very good. Very good.
Is it true that when you see Tom, you run inside and hide?
No.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask that.
He actually engages. Okay. Yes, he engages. Now, Stefan, how long have you been at this job?
Actually been there since 2001.
Oh, so that's quite a while. Yeah. And you aside from being a neighbor, I noticed that when I first moved in, you had like a couple of kids. Then it was like 3 or 4. Now that I think there's 5 or 6. How many kids do you have?
I do have 4, but the cousins come over often.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, and you just had a recent, right? How old is your youngest?
She's like 20 months, but she's a ball of energy.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Are there really cousins, or it's just like families and everybody calls everybody cousins?
No, it's cousins. So it's my wife's kid sister, and so she has 2 that are within 12 months of each other, so they're over a lot.
Do you send them over to Tom's yard to tear the yard up?
No.
Actually, speaking of newborns, my sister-in-law did have one a week ago. So now they have 3. So yeah, there'll be 7 now instead of 6.
Good God!
In my backyard.
That's wonderful. Now, Yankowski, what nationality is that?
So that is Ukrainian.
Okay.
My parents brought me over when I was 5 years old.
Oh, no kidding. All right. So do you still have family in the Ukraine, or are you?
Pretty much my parents' cousins. That's as close as we get. Everybody else moved over when there was opportunity.
Right. That's a big community here in town, Ukrainian. All right. So, Stefan, tell us about this North Country Storage Barns, because I thought it was just about, keeping your lawnmower in a little fort. But tell us about the breadth of products you have there.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So we have a little bit of everything. We have starting from indoor, like knickknacks, things you can buy for Christmas presents, that sort of thing, for a small gift for the spouse, right up to the sheds, like you mentioned, any size. Portable goes up to 16 by 50.
That's pretty big.
And we can actually build homes as well. Now the homes we do stay in like the Jefferson, Lewis County area, just because we don't get out. The crews are limited as far as working more than 1 hour.
So if somebody had a place like on a lake or on the river or something like that, and it was within your territory, you could actually build them a cabin.
Absolutely. Somebody called yesterday for a 16 by 52. So when I get done here, I'm going to go price them a 16 by 52. They're thinking about putting it up on piers possibly, but yeah, we do everything.
That's amazing. So Steve's out in Henderson Harbor. He's got a camp or a lean-to, either one. But you could hook him up with something.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So it's a house is just a big shed. Change my mind.
Absolutely. I mean, here the codes are not super stringent, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. As long as you know what you have, know what you want, we can do it.
Wow. And you also have those really massive play sets for families, right?
Yeah, definitely. So we just started doing like little ones for toddlers, but we have right up to a commercial grade. My associate is Lou there, who does a lot of the heavy lifting there as well in Pulaski. He just is in the midst of selling a large one to the town of Redfield.
No kidding.
So yeah, we do commercial, residential, mostly residential.
It's amazing. How big is the actual store out there?
So we have, like Tom, like you said, we have 3 locations. The main location's in the Evans Mills area, Evans Mills, Philadelphia, New York. Now, don't confuse that with Philly,
I was just
Pennsylvania.
Tom, you can fish there, right? There's the creek goes right in Philadelphia. I've caught some fish right there.
Indian River for sure.
The Indian River, yeah.
And then the location I manage is right there in Pulaski. And Lou works with me, does a lot of the leg work. And shout out to him, by the way. And then we have a retail location in Yorkville. And then if you're in the area, in the Utica, Yorkville area, Joe or Vinny will take great care of you.
So where is it in Pulaski?
Right on 11. Actually, to the ironic thing, the Pulaski location and the Philadelphia location is right on east side of Route 11, and they're about 45 miles apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So about 4 miles north of Pulaski.
Got it. Okay.
But even your Pulaski location is a pretty big outfit, right?
Yeah, we have
store.
probably 60 outbuildings
Oh my
out there
gosh.
for display. We have a 14 by 42 cabin. You can you can move in. It has everything, all the plumbing, all the electricity.
kidding.
The only thing we need to do is insulate it to your specs as far as the floor.
Golly.
The rest of it is insulated to code.
And then I noticed on the website too that you have like bedroom sets and chairs and everything.
Yep. So we do offer pine and also hardwood, so maple or oak, but and then we also do a rustic line as well. So we do a little bit of everything. Name it, we have it.
How long does it take to get a shed? If somebody says, finally, I need a 20 by 20, I've been putting this off. We're going to have to. I don't know if you pour a pad or what you do. Is that take months, weeks, years? How long does it take for somebody to get something?
Good question, Steve. So if it's in stock, we can go pretty quick. 2 weeks is a standard lead time for something like that. Somebody called me on Monday, wanted a shed. We did all the paperwork. Thursday, we're going to do his crushed stone base, and then we're going to deliver probably next week. So 2 weeks is a lead time. And then if you custom design one, we would tell people 5 or 6 weeks. If you do a home, let's say you're up in Jefferson County area, Jefferson Lewis County, even north of Oswego County, it's about 12 months because everybody wants one.
Yeah. But if someone wants one, get put on the list.
Absolutely, yeah. So garages, like a 2-car garage, double-wide garage, we can go pretty quick. We can squeeze you in probably within 6 or 9 months. We only have 1 slot open right now, but homes are typically 12 to 14 months if you're doing the full-out home.
And people go to the website or call you to find out stuff?
Absolutely. The website is the best because obviously 7 days a week, but our main location is open 6 days a week. 9 to 5 on Saturday, 9 to 4, 8 to 5 weekdays.
What's the website for you?
www.ncsbarns.com is our website. It has all of our products right from the sheds right up to the homes.
ncsbarns.com, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stefan. And, I think it's wonderful. I have to mention this, too. What a wonderful father he is. With all this that he's doing, he still makes time to get out there and hang with the kids and get them playing. Everybody's having fun.
You should follow his example,
like
Tom.
Yes. No, I hide from my kids. Yes. That's the stage I'm at. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tom. It's definitely a priority.
Excellent. You have a great day, all right?
Thank you.
Okay, coming up next, we're going to talk with Josh Deakins. He's the co-owner of Crossroads Auction Center right here on the local show on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Thanks for joining us on the local show. You found it on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. Maybe you decided to go over to YouTube and you looked up Zoey Advertising, because that's who the show is brought to you by. We actually work at Zoey Advertising, which was Steve Roberts' brain trust.
I know I do.
Well, that's debatable. Hey, believe me, it's the staff against you, just so you know.
But here's the deal. I want staff that questions me, and they do every day.
Yeah,
and I don't mind that. Yeah, and you do it. You still do it. Like, I know you don't want to hear this, and he knows I want to hear this, but
right.
That was really dumb. And I'll say, tell me more.
Every once in a while, you say something
coherent.
You just say something. That's all.
So your point, folks, I think, was
yes.
If you've got a business and you want some help, let's talk. I think that's what you're saying.
Because
and we'll figure out a plan. You can buy ads. You can do. I mean, there's so many options to market. Let's have a conversation and we can help you get where you're going. And
right.
We'd love to do that. So
yes. AI can't do everything, folks.
AI.
Have some human beings.
I'm Steve at ZoeyAdvertising.com. Tom is Tom at ZoeyAdvertising.com.
Nice and simple.
And let's hear from you.
You got it. Simple people with simple solutions that might make you money. Josh Deakins is with us right now. He's the co-owner of Crossroads Auction. How are you, Josh?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Very good, my friend. It's funny. If I don't look, I look away.
How about that?
It sounds just like his dad.
You sound like your dad.
The apple doesn't fall too far. Tell us your history and how you got involved with Crossroads Auction and what you guys do.
Oh, I've been a big part of it about my whole life. The business opened up when I was 10 years old and never left.
And what is it that you do that makes you guys so special?
Oh, we're a family-run business. I think it's important that we ourselves are there all the time to put out fires and answer questions. A lot of times you walk into a business and the owners aren't standing there and looking in the eye and able to shake your hand and answer your questions. So right. I think that sets us apart from a lot of your businesses you walk into where you don't see that.
Yeah. So what kind of items do you auction?
Everything and anything. On our YouTube channel, you'll see mainly new merchandise. Mm-hmm. Anything, especially around our Christmas season. You'll see toys, brand new tools, electric weed whackers, lawnmowers, all sorts of cars.
Classic cars?
Yes, we do. And on our what we have coming up soon here is July 4th. We are doing a tool and equipment auction, and then right to follow that, we're doing a benefit auction for Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital.
Yes.
You can bring your ride in. We call it Run Your Ride. It's going to be a really cool event. You bring your ride in. It's $50 for your reserve fee, and that $50 goes to the hospital and to Operation Christmas Child, which is another organization we're a part of.
This is for people who want to sell their car?
The
run
answer
your
is
ride.
maybe, right?
Maybe. So you don't know what the price is going to be when it hits the auction block. So if this is a car you're absolutely in love with and you have no intentions of selling it, bring it down, donate your $50, run it across the block, see what it brings. It may surprise you.
Okay,
right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
When it's on the block, it hits that number, we're going to look at you. You give us the thumbs up. Maybe there's no number that'll make that thumb go up.
Right,
or maybe you'd be surprised at the number that makes your thumb go up.
Yeah. Can I bring my kids and put them on the block?
Maybe. Yeah.
No,
give him a shot.
Think about it for a second.
Tom has the 2002 Taurus he's been looking to auction off. It needs a little work, but probably not what you're looking for.
Now, Josh, you do something else other than the auction. You're a singer as well, right?
Yeah, I'm a country musician, Nashville recording artist.
Very nice.
Oh, and, I got a new song out called Bucket of Bourbon. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, or wherever you guys get your music.
Bucket of Bourbon. I like
that. Bucket of Bourbon, yeah.
So is there a band name, or is it just you, or what?
I got a band called the Grizzly Ridge Band.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually July 3rd, if you want to come down and preview the auction, we will be playing in Bear Creek parking lot. They have a little party in the parking lot they do there because Brewerton has their fireworks on July 3rd.
Right.
So we'll be there. My band will be playing in Bear Creek. So come down, you can preview the auction, and then come over to Bear Creek, listen to the band, hang out for the fireworks, and show back up on July 4th for the big auction.
Bear Creek Park. Where's Bear Creek Park?
Bear Creek parking. Well, Bear Creek's a restaurant right there.
Right where?
It's right on Bartell Road.
Okay.
It used to be the old Burger King right there across
Got
from
it.
McDonald's.
Oh, now I know what it is.
Yeah.
It looks like an old Burger King that's now a bar. I know what you're talking.
Super nice place. Great burgers.
You don't see the
Phenomenal
Burger
burgers.
King logos.
That sounds like a country song. Used to be a Burger King, now a bar. I can hear that unfolding.
Yeah, right there in town. I know where you are.
Oh yeah, they got a great parking lot. I think they got a bunch of food trucks coming in. It's going to be a really good time.
So
there.
you've actually recorded in Nashville.
Oh yeah, I did an EP there quite a few years ago, and then I got signed to a label out of California called Warrant Music, and they sent me back last fall and back down there, and I cut 2 new singles. I released one this spring, and I'll be releasing another one next spring.
That's good. You're not going to forget us when you get huge.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I was just going to say, is this your plan to get out of the auction business?
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, since you're doing so well, why haven't you bought my speaker system yet?
Well, you know what happens is, this is the truth. When you start moving up the ladder, you don't do your own sound anymore.
Yeah, figures, right?
I got people for that now.
Right. Well, ask your people if they want my sound system. I still got to get rid of this thing.
I know, it's a nice one too. So going back to the July 4th auction, so next Thursday, July 4th, we talked about the cars. What's there? What would people see? It sounds like a fun way to spend the day.
Oh, it's an
starts
absolute...
at what, 9, I think it does?
Yeah, it starts at 9. The general auction is going to be from 9 to 1, and that's going to be your building supplies, kitchen cabinets, tools, equipment, stuff like that. And then at 1 o'clock, we're going to start the benefit auction side. So far, like in our building right now, we have a 2021 Hellcat. Or it's a red eye. It's a red eye edition, wide body.
YouTube listeners
It's got about 10,000 miles on it. Comes with 2 keys. One's good for 500 horse. The other one's good for 800 horse.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
That noise you heard was Tom's jaw dropping on the counter here.
I'm not even a Mopar guy, but I love Hellcat.
Oh, I drove it. It's cool.
Yeah.
You can tell the difference in that car.
Not an automatic, is it? Is it a standard?
It's an automatic.
Oh,
yeah.
Why do people do that?
Because nobody under 40 can drive a standard.
I love standard vehicles myself. If I was going to get a hot rod, it'd be a standard.
So what's that start at? The bidding,
it's going to start wherever the crowd starts it.
Okay.
You know how that's going to go. You're going to get someone who's going to be excited. I mean, that's an expensive car.
Yes.
So I'm sure it won't get too low before someone throws their hands in the air.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of classics in there.
Really?
I was looking, we had 8 or so cars coming just yesterday. We've been lining them up.
Oh my goodness.
Now, where can I see those cars? Because I would like to look at them.
You'll be able to see those cars on our Facebook page, Crossroads Auction Facebook page, and we're doing videos of those cars on our YouTube page. So you can go to Crossroads Auction YouTube channel, and there'll be videos of the Hellcat. We had like an 80s Jeep come in. We have a bunch of other vehicles that are already there.
Jeep, they're awesome. That's what Jeeps were cool.
It's really cool.
Like an old Wrangler, what is it?
It's an old Wrangler.
Oh, those are Jeeps were cool. And I used to fit them. They don't make Jeeps for tall people.
Right.
The Wrangler you can fit in, but the other ones are all made for people under 5'5".
I believe it's an 80s. It might be an early 90s, but it's in that ballpark.
So where does this stuff come from at an auction? Like where you got all these things? Where does it come from?
It comes from everywhere and anywhere. So a lot of this stuff here is going to come from obviously individuals coming and consign it to be part of the donation, the benefit. But what you get a lot of times is from estates. So let's say you had an uncle, a parent, a brother, whoever passes away, and you're like, listen, I got all this stuff. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want to deal with Facebook Marketplace, all these tire kickers and all these scammers out there. I want to take it to a reputable company that can handle this for me, well and at a good time manner, and then put that in front of a large crowd of people that's going to get the best price for the items.
So crossroadsauction.net, correct?
Correct.
July 4th auction starts at 9. The benefit auction with the cars is at 1. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And the night before at Bear Creek, you can listen to you play.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming and joining us.
Oh, it was fun. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Excellent. All right. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Josh Lang, pastor at Redeemer Church in Syracuse, George Powers, owner of Powers Accounting, Sean Patney, the owner of Preferred Powersports, and then John Woznicka III, actually, is the president of JPW Structural Contracting. Stick around. Hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back. Welcome in. I forgot the W on the welcome.
Yes,
on my page.
I see that.
Yeah,
welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Josh Lang, pastor at Redeemer Church, Syracuse, and then George Powers, owner of Powers Accounting, Sean Patney, owner of Preferred Powersports, and John Wesnicka III, president of JPW Structural Contracting, all in hour number 2. But we start off with the best part of hour number 2, Josh Lang, right here, pastor at Redeemer Church.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
I say that because somehow I think I'm going to get into heaven better if I give you compliments.
Yeah, if it was based on that, we'd all be in big trouble, Tom.
I mean, it's not. Come on, Steve. That's what I was hoping for. Pastor Josh, can you share the mission and the vision of Redeemer Church in Syracuse?
Yeah, so we really, the kind of short phrase that we use is we want people to experience the transformational power of the gospel. And that word gospel is simply a word that can be used to describe good news. That's what it means. And we really believe that there is good news that we have as the church, and we see in the Bible as it's been given to us from God, that in the midst of this world that seems horribly broken and lots of different things going on, that God has not forgotten us, that he stepped down into the mess of it, and he made a way to redeem us and this world.
So you said transformational. So what's the opposite of that?
Why are you
being
repeating
stuck? It was the opposite of being transformational is being stuck. So it isn't just here's a liturgical box, maybe. Mm-hmm. This is things that this isn't I check the Jesus box or whatever. So transformational. Unpack that a little bit for me.
Yeah. So we really do believe that the fact that God himself, stepped down into this earth, and he became like us. He lived like us, except he's God. His life was completely different from ours. And he did everything to the glory of God the Father. And when he went to that cross, and he paid the price for sin, we believe that at that point we see not only the forgiveness of sins for us, but also the restoration and renewal of this fallen, broken world. And so when you begin to think about transformation in the gospel, we see these stories of people whose lives were completely turned upside down by encountering Jesus. So whether it was a sick person being healed, whether it was being an outcast being welcomed into community, whether even it was the redemption of a person in this world. The interesting thing about the Gospels, when you look at them, at that empty tomb, right, you don't see the disciples there. Who discovers him? It's actually the women who are followers of Jesus. Now, if you really wanted to prove in that culture that this was an actual event, that it was true and it happened, you wouldn't have women at that tomb. But here the gospel writers, they're like, hey, these are actually the folks who saw the empty tomb and went and got the disciples. And so we see that in scripture, but also as being a pastor now for the last 23 or so years, we see folks who experience that gospel, who experience that transformation in their lives, are completely turned upside down.
Yeah. So okay. So what do you? Yeah. Okay. So and so was an axe murderer. Somebody, they were high on things that ruined their life. They need Jesus.
Yeah.
What about regular religious, suburban people? Because it almost sounds like, okay, that's great for them, but some people say, well, of course that guy needs Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing everyone has to wrestle with is, when you say, what about, this person who seemingly has it all together, you still have to deal with, the bigger questions of life. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I can see that there's this life in this world, but what about the next? What are you going to do about eternity? What are you going to do about sin? As much as we think we're good, we've got it all together, the interesting thing, maybe the way to look at sin is not to so much think of just bad things done, but maybe making good things ultimate things. Where, for example, we, and this can happen unintentionally. Let's say you're in a relationship and you are trying to heal your brokenness in that relationship, and you're putting all of this weight on this one single person to fix you and to make you better and to do this, and in the process you end up destroying another life. Now, people might not consider that, you know what I mean, not having your stuff together or being a bad person, but even parents trying to live their dreams out through their kids and end up crushing their kids.
Right.
Maybe it's a business person who, trying to, I don't know, heal their daddy issues or whatever it might be, work themselves into a place where they ruin their marriage and ruin their kids. And
so you're saying just by the belief in Jesus, everything gets better?
No. What I'm saying is that when you experience what we would call salvation, you're made new in Christ, and now you don't have to work from a place of earning something or proving something or doing something in your own strength. What you're doing is that you're loved already, all your faults and brokenness completely. And now, because you're working from that place of assurance, of confidence, of acceptance, you can now adequately love others and
or transform, maybe back to where we started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve, are you talking into the mic or are you breathing into the mic? Which one are you doing over there?
You know what it is? I'm thinking, Steve. It is good that I'm breathing.
You are getting so comfortable that he actually has the microphone up his nostril.
I did. You had me in that deep thing. Again, you said making good things the ultimate thing. So it's not bad to have a fantastic career, have a successful business, have any of those things.
No.
But my word's not yours. If they become your God, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, because whether or not we're all going to serve someone or something. I think it was you,
Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
maybe. It might be the devil, it might be the Lord, but you're going to serve someone.
Yeah, and I think the thing is who or what you serve really determines what your everyday looks like, your thoughts, your words, your actions, your interactions. And so that's why we say, hey, man, we want people to experience the transformational power of the gospel, because what Christ came to do was not to make good people better people or bad people good people. He came to take dead people and make them alive. And when we look at scripture, what we see is that this is a broken, fallen world. We're all dead in our sin, okay? And we can't do anything about it. And so the way you become alive is by placing your trust in Christ.
And is that only through Christianity? Like,
yes.
What do you say? Yeah, look at how fast he answered that one. Right? Well, because people do ask, they say, well, what about this religion or that religion or that?
So
sure.
There is no other religion.
So the thing that we look at when we look at Christianity is we're not pointing towards like this, truth or these 5 steps or, this way of thinking. We're pointing to a person. And Jesus said in scripture that he is the way, the truth, and the life. He is not a way. He is not a truth, but he is saying, I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life. And you can have life in me when you trust in me.
So Redeemer Church, where's that located, Josh?
It's on East Genesee Street across from Nottingham High School.
Nottingham High School. Come as you are. It's a pretty casual place, but serious about faith in Christ.
Yep.
And service is Sunday at 10
a.m.
o'clock.
Yep.
All right.
Great. Well, thank you again for being here, Josh, and we'll send people right over there. George Powers is coming up next, owner of Powers Accounting. Don't you go away, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. You found The Local Show. Thanks for joining us. It's Tom and Steve from Zoey Advertising, enjoying our summer with you and bringing you all the best in small businesses and what they're doing around Syracuse and all that. I was just thinking the other day as we were going past the mall, wouldn't it be great if that aquarium was open already? I would really love that aquarium.
How many times are you going to go to it?
I'd go a lot. I would.
I love aquariums. I'd go to it.
I would name
I'm
one
a
of the
fish
manta
guy,
rays.
but I don't know that I'd, check
Well,
goes on every week.
You're a fish guy for a different reason. People go to aquariums not to catch them.
That's true.
You know, it's to observe what this aquatic life is like.
Yeah, I did see a news posting that crime was down 50% at Destiny.
Is it really?
And I went, okay. And then you look into it since November.
Yeah.
Well,
people are taking a break.
You could take one point in time, make anything. I went.
That's true. Once there's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Yeah, right.
Well, look, folks, welcome back to the show. And George Powers is with us right now. He's the owner of Powers Accounting. You can see his website at gpowers.com. He is the king of small business. And I say that respectfully because you, not only are you an accountant, tax preparer, and all those things, but you're a business person, right? You help businesses grow.
That's the idea.
And manage.
We're here to help them grow. And we try to help our clients achieve their dreams, whatever that happens to be. I mean, we might have someone that wants to be rich, another person that wants to be a missionary. Those are two legitimately good things to do, and we try to help them become whatever it is they wish to, whatever their goals
Do you tell people don't do that very often?
No, many times they don't. They just go through. They just exist.
Yeah. You won't tell somebody, boy, your business idea stinks. But you might.
I have in not so many words.
Yeah, right.
I have sat down with people and you start running numbers and say, I'm not sure. I had a fellow a number of years ago that came to me. He was a father, a couple of kids, 2 or 3 kids. He wanted to open up a brewery and on the south side of the city. And he had a full-time job. And I said, well, where are you going to get the money from? I'm going to take it out of my 401k. Does your wife work? No, she stays at home and watches the kids. How are you going to run this brewery and brew pub at the same time? Are you going to give up your job? No, I'm going to keep working.
Oh, wow.
How are you going to do all? Are you sure you want to do this?
That's a great question.
And so I kind of threw it back at him because it was like, maybe a dream, but you got to kind of think it through a little bit more. You got a couple things to risk here.
How many clients do you serve at this moment, or approximately?
We have, depending on how you count them, I guess we have about 125 what I would call regular monthly business clients that we do something for on a monthly regular basis. And then we have some other business clients we do things more sporadically on.
But payroll for some of them?
And payroll, we have payroll. Payroll is kind of a separate arm. We have payroll for about 160 payroll clients.
Okay. So you don't necessarily have to do their accounting to do the payroll?
Correct. Yeah. It's kind of set. We run our payroll under Payroll Made Simple. It's really separate from the accounting side for a variety of reasons. One of which is, what accountant's going to want to send payroll to Powers Accounting.
Yeah, right.
So we keep them separate and distinct for that reason. Yeah.
So at this point in the season, if you will, we're in the middle of summer or starting to eke toward middle of summer. Right.
Yeah. Hopefully it was hot last week.
Yeah, it was.
Eek.
Yeah. So as we're eking, what goes on financially with, in your business?
Great question. This is time for mid-year review. So what we're doing with a lot of our clients is we're going back and we're talking, how has their business been so far this year? Do they have a budget? What are we looking at for the year end? Do we need to start thinking about tax planning or PTET tax, pass-through entity tax? These are things we're starting to talk to the clients about now. Is to, where are we going? How's the business going? Is there anything we need to change? What are their goals? Do they want to do anything particular? So it's a little bit more time. We're still far enough away from tax planning and tax season. We have a brief discussion on it, but it's really more about how the business is operating and what they might be able to do.
A few months ago, Tom, George has made a clear, he has a clear opposition to this one business practice that I failed, George. I'm going to confess right now. I failed on this one. So I was away and I accidentally used the business credit card on a personal purchase.
That's not good.
So I pulled it out and there it went. It was like, I don't know, a taco. It wasn't like any, but I went, oh no, because I'm thinking, Lori's going to go, what was this for? What was it? And I'm hearing George say, don't mix personal and business. And I had this one thing, because I'm pretty good at keeping it separate. It was a blue credit card. Maybe it was like, I don't know, but boom.
We'll give you that one, Steve.
So that's a big deal, right? People mix it all together and it becomes
it becomes completely chaotic. It's like a soup. Best way is vegetable soup. How do you separate these things? Because that is one of the big rules. And I was meeting with a fellow this morning, was talking about starting a business. Separate your business and personal. Open up a business account. All business expenses go through there, or no personal expenses, and vice versa. Because at the end of the year, you got to look at something. If you look at a mess Well, what's a business expense? You went to Staples. Was that business or was that personal? What happened to be around August? Well, was that school supplies for your kids or was that for you go to BJ's? What was
how do you even figure it out? I mean, at that point, that's tricky.
I remember
if it's all in one big mess, it's it's almost impossible to figure out.
You guys remember the episode of Seinfeld where Elaine was running the company and she bought George the hat? The big hat, and it was and it was like $8,000 because it was a minx or something. It was some nice hat, and then the accountant called her.
What is this?
Yeah. And I have to see proof of the hat, and then of course George lost the hat, so they couldn't prove it.
But it's tricky. Funny. Like your easy pass, you got business and personal.
That's much more difficult,
right? Because it's like there it is, and things just kind of bleed in. But then you miss things too that you probably should have taken off. To me, it's you're trying to have the most integrity you can to get close to what the real liability would be.
Well, and that's what I find. People that mix things actually many times it's worse for themselves because they don't keep track of all their business expenses, and it's easy to miss something. And you think, well, what's $5 here or $10 there? Well, enough $5 and $10 to start to add up to real money. And so when people just do things, they don't think about it because at the end of the year, people sometimes give us random stuff for our tax return clients. Sorry, then we'll look at all the expenses and say, well, what about this expense? You didn't have insurance? Oh yeah, I had insurance. You didn't tell us about it. What do you mean? Right. Because they didn't have it in one organized place. They couldn't go through it and say, this is all my expenses. So that's what we encourage. Separate accounts and do some bookkeeping. Don't just wait to the end of the year for taxes. So most of what we do, we've been pushing more like we're your monthly clients. Do this every month. Because that's also your, what it really is a dashboard of your business. If you think about your books as a dashboard, would you ever drive your car without the dashboard? I mean, you could do it, but at some point you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Right.
That's really what your accounting is on the business. It's the dashboard of your business. How fast you're going, how well you're doing. Are you speeding? Are you going to run out of gas? These are all the things that your business will tell you if you have your good set of records.
Is there anything that this Micron deal and all these new businesses coming in and things like that affect the way that you talk to people about their businesses?
Not really. I mean, Micron is coming. I do believe it's coming. I'm not a naysayer on that. Real estate has done some changing.
Yeah.
We're seeing some new businesses crop up. We're not seeing a lot yet because we're still, 8 years out or something like that. I think we'll continue to see more of it.
Right.
We'll see more interaction. And I think we'll see more construction because they need all this electricity and all this water. So we'll see flow over.
Certainly the roads are being ripped up everywhere.
Right. 81's coming soon too and all that. But I would say as a whole, being a business is going to be similar either way with Micron or without Micron.
So if somebody had a business, thinking of starting a business, looking for a first opinion, a second opinion, you'll have that conversation with them?
Love to have that conversation.
So gpowers.com, Tom. Ooh, look at the way this sounds.
Excellent.
gpowers.com, 701-1120 is the phone number, and the big area code of 315-701-1120. George Powers. Heck of an accountant and a really good golfer too, Tom.
Now you're stretching it.
Thank you, George. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you.
Sean Patney coming in next. He's the owner of Preferred Powersports. We'll talk everything big boy toys and big girl toys right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Sailing our way back into The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Thank you for joining us.
Sailing, Tom.
Summer.
Sailing. Was that? Were you teeing something up? Just sailing. Was that
I really
sailing? Because we might talk about watercraft, or were you just routinely sailing?
I just wanted to say sailing. To be honest with you. Perfect. But Sean Patney is here. He's the owner of Preferred Powersports. They don't have sailboats over there, Steve.
They're not powers. That wouldn't be a power sport, Tom.
No, that wouldn't be a power sport. How are you doing there, Sean?
Excellent.
Last I talked with you, you were taking one of your cars and going out to, did you go to Quebec or Montreal?
I went to Montreal, went to visit BRP up in Quebec. Yeah.
BRP being one of your big brands.
Yep. So they carry the Sea-Doo brand is under BRP as well as Can-Am.
Oh, right.
So,
yeah.
So we got an invite to go up there and see some new product, which we can't talk too much about right now.
Sorry. I was hoping we could get the skinny on stuff.
So is it exciting what's coming down
It's
there?
pretty cool. Yeah, they got some really, really neat stuff coming. It's going to be good. It'll all be released at their club meeting, which is at the end of August, and that'll be released to the public.
Okay.
Do you remember the car shows, Tom? Back in the day?
The car shows now, yes.
No, but where it was like the rolling out the new something.
Oh, the big car. You don't mean like a
No, but you'd always like look to see the new
thing
Camaro or the new something.
Right.
Is that a thing anymore? Or?
Yeah, there's still stuff that comes out. Yeah, it's just not here.
Just not here.
They do the big New York City one and
New York, Detroit.
Yeah. All that.
Well, you're
well, anyway, did you learn to speak any French? Did you?
No.
Can you say?
I took French in high school. I realized I don't remember any of it.
How many?
It didn't help you
How
much.
many French folks got mad at you?
A couple.
So I think the big question on everybody's mind, Sean, is why doesn't Tom have a toy? Why don't I? Well,
Would you find time to use it, Tom?
Absolutely, I would. I'd use it as a daily driver. The slingshot.
Yeah. Well, we always say it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, but I'm not sure that's healthy in some instances. So
that's a marriage thing, right?
Can you hook me up? Can I at least rent one for the to look cool?
You could probably come borrow one from me for a little bit.
I'd like to go to the gym once in it so that people would say
we'll
he's got it all.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way to make it work.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. But yeah, you have slingshots up there. You've got the 3-wheelers. What's selling? What is the hot item for this summer?
I mean, every summer is interesting, but I mean, obviously personal watercraft in the summer are huge, and then the motorcycles tremendous, and then the Can-Am 3-wheeled product as well. So slingshot, we sell, a moderate number of those, but Can-Am 3-wheeled product, which is the Riker and the Spider, they have an F3 and a Limited, and those are just amazing machines, and people love to tour on those. And whether they're just getting started, or whether they've been riding for a long time and some health issues have crept up, or they're just looking for something more relaxed. So we're doing a demo event coming up with those.
When you say a demo, what does that look like?
We have an opportunity. Actually, there's a setup or sign up going on right now, and that's in a couple weeks. We have the opportunity to test drive. I think Can-Am is bringing 4 or 6 machines, and we've got, I think, 2 to 4 of our own that are going out. They're long test rides. They're an hour test ride. They're not,
that's so cool.
They're not little opportinities to just go around parking lot.
Maybe
This is
we should
an hour.
do that. Maybe the wife would like that.
I wouldn't want to bring it back, which is the whole idea,
They
right?
do. Yeah, they'll GPS tag you probably, Where's Steve?
I don't want to mess with. I don't want to mess with Sean. If Sean has to come looking for you don't want that.
I think it'd be BRP that got rid of it because they're French.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. I don't speak French, so
the ones that they'll be looking for it. No, it's just a tremendous opportunity to get out there and ride them, and something a little bit longer. It's like I said, we're putting a couple machines in, but they're bringing machines as well. There's training, there's the machine. If you've got either a 3-wheeled endorsement or a motorcycle endorsement, you have to have those.
Oh, you have to have those.
You have to do those to be able to do the demo ride. Yep.
They're different?
Yeah, so in New York State, a 2-wheeled motorcycle endorsement's 2-wheel or 3-wheel product, but there's a limited endorsement that relates to just the 3-wheeled product, Slingshot and the Can-Am. There are some other brands out there as well. We're not going to talk about those.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So as far as watercraft, what's the more popular of your watercraft? Or
everybody's different on those. I finally got out the other day for the first time this year, and just
got
a couple Yamahas out. They're both they're both FX cruisers. One's a supercharged one, which is completely unnecessary, but just incredible.
So just how fast will that go?
That's probably a 72 mile an hour machine.
72 on the water.
Well, that's with his slim and slender and shaped body.
You
and I would probably do 30.
No, you had a great time though. It's just we sell them every day, and they can take on this thing of it's a unit in stock. But when you get on them, you start to understand why people want them. It's just liberating.
Absolutely.
The water, the sun. Just,
they look like they would trail pretty easily. I hate towing boats, and I hate towing. It looks like it'd be pretty simple. Small trailer. It doesn't look like
small trailer. I mean, you're still getting a boat on a trailer. Once you figure out how to do it, we'll give you some pointers if it's something that you're new at. But the key thing is don't get the trailer too far in the water.
Right.
Let the watercraft come up onto the trailer. That way it's not just floating around out there. That works out real well. And trailing down the road, they're a piece of cake.
Yeah. So when do the snowmobiles start coming in?
I don't know.
it's been a moist summer, so maybe we
don't know.
Snow.
We don't know. We'll cross that bridge in December, I guess, or January, February, whenever it comes.
Your mind's not even into that world, but you do have them when the time comes.
We love them, and we're excited by them, but it's weather dependent, and that's all it is.
I was coming down the other day on 81, Tom.
Yes.
And now that we know you guys, I'm always like looking over, rubbernecking, and looks like you moved a lot of product.
Oh, yeah.
So you had, I remember a few months ago, you had like 500 units out there or something?
A little over 500. We're probably down well below 300 now.
I saw that. I was like...
But, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff coming in. I mean, it's we'll start seeing the personal watercraft, probably nothing more is going to ship for the year. I think we're done receiving shipments for the year. Motorcycles are going to continue to ship all the way into the fall because people buy those all the way in. And the three-wheel product, of course, people fall colored tour with those. And so those ship all the way through. But, watercraft, what we have now is pretty much what we'll have.
And you have the pontoon boat too, right?
Yep. Yeah. Got a handful of pontoon boats left. We got some. I think there's a few 18s, 19s, and 21s left.
And once again, your folks aren't on any type of a commission type thing, so they're going to give you the skinny. You can pick out what you want and get the real details on everything. So this place is huge.
Yeah, we try to make it easy.
Yeah,
we try to give you financing options.
You
financing,
got good financing.
We're not going to try to push you down a certain path. You have to do what's right for you, but we'll give you the options.
And I think the last time we spoke, you said you had about 6 or so service techs, or 6 or 7, or
there's actually 8.5 guys back there.
Oh, good,
now. So we had another person, and it's just still keeping up this challenge.
A little person?
So much
that poor half guy, I tell you what. Half person, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's not somebody that works part-time. It's half a person.
I'm just curious.
In other words, he's not full Italian.
You thought it. I said it. Okay.
That's great. And you have all the paraphernalia out there, too. The hundreds and hundreds of helmets, jackets,
obviously life preservers, tow ropes, towables.
It's just a beautiful place. I don't know why everybody doesn't go out there. I'd like to make a challenge for people. At least get out there. Get out there and go.
See what we got.
And tell them Tom and Steve sent you, because we really, I just think that if you're going to get into that sport, any one of those things, you have to have a company you can trust and will stand behind things too.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly where they were. I was thinking it was way up north. Shoot, go ahead, get off Cicero.
South of Burton.
Get off at Cicero, shoot up, you're 2 miles up, you're right there.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, just the amount of people that are in Clay and Cicero could, fill the place and get rid of all that inventory. Then
you don't have to count it one day, though.
Okay, not in one day. Spread it out, folks.
So real quick, what's the watercraft I want to fish out of? What's the one we were talking about?
You're either going to look. You're probably going to look for a Sea-Doo Fish Pro is what you need.
And why would I want that?
You just look like a Sea-Doo Fish Pro kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
To be honest.
Why? Because it carries heavy weight like me? Is that what you mean?
Maybe it's idiot-proof is what he's saying. Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
PreferredPowersports.com. I'll get off my weight here. PreferredPowersports.com. If someone wants to call with a question, have you got something in stock? 699-2592.
You got it.
699-2592 in the big area code.
And if you see me pulling up with a slingshot, I got it from Preferred Power.
That's right.
Over at the gym.
We'll have a license plate on the back that says borrowed.
Thanks. Yeah, I've got to point it out even.
Student driver.
Thank you so much, Sean. You have a great rest of the day. Okay.
Have a great day. Thank you.
John Wisnicka III coming up next. He's the president of JPW Structural Contracting right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found it, the last bastion of great talk radio, because Steve is here from the Local Show. This was Steve's big, bright idea.
Well, I knew I had a talented Tom.
No,
I know you
that's
could.
not the reason.
We could do an audio thing, and I knew that we wanted to talk to businesses, and I needed to get you out more because you drive Kelly crazy. So I invited you to pull this thing together. And 5 years. 5 years.
It's been 5 years. Speaking of bright ideas, how about that billboard you got too? The Steve billboard over on 690.
The Steve billboard, yes, that's what you call it. It's very popular, right?
Very bright.
Folks traveling 690 East before Teal, you see a big board there, and occasionally you'll see Tom and Steve in the Local Show. But there's several other local companies putting their their face on there. A couple 100,000 views a week just on one cycle there. It's popular road. And if it slows down with traffic, I don't know if that make it more or less. Just
I don't
more
know.
consolidated with the traffic jams.
And it hasn't caused an accident yet. And I'm
Not
very
that I'm
happy
aware
for
of.
that.
And I didn't, not yet.
There you go.
Not yet.
All right. Well, we have a new guest to the show. John Woznicka III is the president of JPW Structural Contracting. How you doing there, John?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, man. Woznicka, big name. Give us the skinny on your businesses and everything and what you guys do as a family.
Yeah, so we're in our third generation of our family business here in Syracuse. Started out back in 1953 with my grandfather starting the business. He traveled around building stone quarries all over the Northeast for 20 years, and then he wanted to settle down and be closer to home, so he started a fabrication shop right down the street from the Carousel Mall.
Good golly.
My father graduated from college, ran my grandfather's fabrication shop for 4 or 5 years. Then he enjoyed the field work and the rigging and working in the industry, operating cranes and that type of work. So he started JPW Riggers and Erectors while my grandfather still ran his business. And they were located right next to each other on Van Antwerp.
Gotcha.
Just down the street from the Carousel. So my brother and I, Jody, my brother and I graduated from college the same time, and my brother runs the steel erection crews and the daily crane work that we supply to customers. And I run the steel fabrication shop. So some of the projects we've worked on in the area is phase 2 of the Syracuse University Dome.
Oh, wow. That's big.
We helped put the roof on the dome recently. Right now, we're fabricating steel for the Buffalo Bills Stadium right here in Syracuse.
Oh, my gosh.
We're doing some of the largest beams for the stadium. We just finished one that weighed over 40,000 pounds.
Whew.
We were doing all the painting for those beams as well. Then we truck the beams out to the site.
Do you ever find yourself accidentally watching a video of a crane like falling?
Stephen is fail videos.
I do see those, but I try to avoid them.
Oh my gosh, I see it, and it would give me. I think, Tom, I would love to run a crane.
Oh, I would love to not have you ever run a crane.
You're welcome. Come on down.
No, don't say that. You don't know what
let's do this.
Yeah, anytime.
The guy's built like a crane. That's something. Have you heard anything about the aquarium? Will you be working on that at all?
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We haven't seen any drawings yet, but as soon as they come out, we'll be bidding on that project.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We'll be one of the fabricator and erector teams that bid on it, I'm sure.
So most of your projects are, what I'm hearing, are large scale and bid projects, like a lot of public contracts and colleges and stuff, or is it a mix?
Mostly private. We do some public work. Probably 80% of our work is in New York State and the Northeast, but we have worked all over the country. Another large project we were a part of was the JWST telescope for NASA. That was launched last year. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Wow.
But
no, we're not that cultured.
Why would they bring you in? Because that seems like it's a long way away.
That project was worked on by many countries. It was a $12 billion project for a telescope. The Hubble telescope orbits 300 miles from Earth, and you can access it and repair it. This telescope is 1 million miles from Earth. It was launched a little over a year ago. It's 3 times the size of the Hubble telescope, and it took almost a year for it to get to its destination.
Good golly.
And that was one of your signature projects?
Well, I wouldn't say that. What we did it was our signature project, but
that's what I mean.
We didn't send anything into space.
Right.
But what we did was we went from space center to space center, designing, fabricating, and installing test equipment.
I see.
So
in general, what kind of things do you fabricate in your steel business?
We take care of people that are looking for one piece of steel.
Really?
Up to 5,000 tons of steel is our range.
So like it could be for a bridge?
We do bridge work. We're New York State DOT certified for bridges. We build plate girders and rolled beam bridges and support the DOT every day.
So the project in Syracuse, that's construction is going to go on between now and the next 35 years. That's good for you guys, right? Because you'll be potentially part of that?
Well, if they get to win the bid, right?
Well, there's constantly bids going on for that right now, and we've been doing work already, supplying steel for it. But each phase has a different bid package. It's not just one large package.
So when I go by these construction sites and I see JPW on the equipment, they're renting you? Is that the way that works? I'm not understanding how it all works.
So the cranes and the equipment, that's one of our strengths. We own all our own equipment, so we don't have to rent cranes and other equipment and tractor trailers and man lifts. So that's how we provide emergency service and the best service for our customers.
So if somebody, a construction company, needs a crane, they call you and they rent your crane.
Exactly. So that's what my brother does. If you needed a crane tomorrow, you call him today and you tell him what you're lifting, and he'd send you a price right away and have a crane for you tomorrow.
Right. And then do you guys man the crane, or?
Yes. Okay. All our operators are union operators, and they're highly skilled people that operate these cranes.
So you don't let other people operate your equipment?
Right. So we can't bear rent to other people, unfortunately. We can only rent operated equipment based on our insurance.
Okay. Wow. So American steel, foreign steel, what's the deal with steel these days?
American steel, always, that's the best. We buy it, and there's no reason not to. Maybe 10 years ago or more, they were flooding the country with foreign steel.
I remember that.
But it's pretty much gone away, and you know, Nucor and SDI and these other steel mills in the country are more than capable of supplying high quality steel.
Close to us. That's not Pennsylvania necessarily, or wherever, right?
The big steel mills, there's one in Auburn. They do different shapes, each steel mill.
Okay.
But the large beams for like Buffalo Stadium, they're coming from other parts of the country. But typically Virginia, Arkansas, or out west, Ohio.
Okay.
So who gives you business then? Who name some of the places that give you business?
Locally, we do a lot of work with Hainer Hoyt companies. They're a great customer of ours. Pike Companies, Hubert Brewers, another great customer of ours. So a lot of the large GCs in the area.
No residential, right?
Chase.
Okay.
Yeah, we do quite a bit of residential.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. Some of these large homes on Skinny Atlas Lake in Jamesville, they might have 20, 30 tons of steel in them.
So you work for the people that kind of compete against each other. Is that tricky a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, even the people we compete with directly, sometimes they'll rent one of our services. They might need a crane. They might need something fabricated that's too big for them to do that we would.
Well, that's an intelligent way to do business. Some people build walls and this is mine, and so that's a common sense way to do business.
My opinion is that day and age is over. The market's too small to be like that.
Good.
You're right.
So jpwcompanies.com. People can find out more about the company. And is that correct?
Yes.
And are you looking to hire anybody? If anybody's listening, anybody's looking?
We're hiring every day. I personally interview every person we hire with our human resources, and that's how we keep the ball rolling.
Okay, so if someone knows someone or is someone, they can find some info on that site, correct?
Yeah, they can apply through our website or call.
Would Steve qualify? He's got a steel plate in his head.
We have a job for him.
Okay, good.
that healed over, Tom. No one knows now.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, John. Woznicka the third right there, and you have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Steve, that's going to wrap things up.
About that time, Tom.
Yeah, it's about time to go fishing and boating and enjoying life. Okay. On behalf of Zoey Advertising, Tom and Steve, God bless you and your families. Make sure to take some time and relax and exercise today and every day. Do it with a friend or family member. It keeps the body and mind healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. We find it's more fun that way. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.